What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 40 of the Roots of Success podcast. I am your host, Nate the Great Peterman, coming at you. And today we have a very, very special guest, my guy, Twany Beckham. What's going on, brother?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me.
Hey, for sure, brother. I'm glad that, you could definitely find some time to be on the show. I know you're a very busy man traveling the world over there. But for those of you who might be wondering, who's Twany? Let me hear a little bit about him. Twany has published a book titled Full Court Press: Conquering Adversity Under Pressure, where he tells a story about his life as a kid and shares valuable experiences he endured. Beckham travels and gives motivational speeches in hopes of changing lives and inspiring the youth. Twany just recently published a brand new book titled Pressure, where he talks about overcoming adversity, redefining himself, and what success now looks like. Twany's book is available on Amazon.com. I'll plug the links at the end of the episode for y'all to go check out. Twany, my man, hey, let's hear a little bit more about the behind the scenes, more so about your upbringing, where you're from, and where you're at today for real.
All right, man. So I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, and born and raised to a single mother, no father. She had three kids. None of us never really consistently had a father figure around. I was always one of those kids that was very good in sports. I was always deemed, the next kid from my community that had the possibility of or the potential of becoming that next NBA or NFL player. I went on to high school to star 4 years at my high school. Any stat or any accomplishment or award you name, my name's probably on it at my high school. After high school, I went to New Hampton Prep, the New Hampton School up in New Hampton, New Hampshire. I played 1 year, and I got interest from a lot of big time schools, and then I decided to play at the University at Mississippi State University, where I was there for 2.5 years. My second year there, I experienced some adversity. I had to have double hip surgery as a sophomore. Man. So it was like really the first time in my life that basketball was taken away from me, and that I had to really experience some real adversity. I rehabilitated, got myself back together, and decided that Mississippi State wasn't the place for me anymore. We had some things going on with the team. Some of us couldn't trust the coach, so we had players transferring, and I was one of those guys that decided to transfer, not knowing where I was going to go and end up. I kind of sat back and looked at the situation as if, I wanted to go to maybe a smaller school so where I could play a majority of the minutes and, dominate at the lower level. And then when, I started kind of looking at the schools, and out of nowhere get a call from University of Kentucky that I could potentially come and, join that team, man. It was something that, I was forever thankful for, because, playing at Kentucky has always been my dreams, especially being from Kentucky. And I didn't get the opportunity at a high school. And so it was, to me, I feel like I was destined, to, go through what I went through in life and to end up, being a part of the University of Kentucky team. And then in 2012, we won the national championship. So I was on the national championship team with, Anthony Davis, Terrence Jones, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, a bunch of those guys, man. And we still like brothers today. And so I played sparingly. With my redshirt year, I became eligible in January. So the rotations on the team were kind of already set. But coach plugged me in where he could. So the year after we won the national championship year, which is going to be my senior year in 2013, a couple of weeks before season was officially started, I woke up one morning and I didn't have feeling in my legs. I couldn't feel my legs, and then and there I knew that life was about to change for me drastically. I ended up having 2 herniated discs in my back, had to have career-ending back surgery, and that forever changed my life. At the age of 24, I was left with, what are you going to do now? And you hear that throughout your life with people, coming in to speak to you or just trying to give you a little bit of advice, especially when you're an athlete, to think about what's next or to focus on something outside of basketball. But that's very hard when you give me your all because you want to be in the NBA and you want to make it to the next level. So you give your 100% to basketball, whether it's training, eating, working out, whatever the case may be. You're focused on basketball, so you never really think as an athlete to think outside the box and what if this doesn't work out. And so for me, that end came really, really hard. It was a hard end. Something that I didn't plan for. But luckily for me, going to prep school really helped kind of shape the way I view education. I really started to take education serious when I went to prep school. And I'm a four-time All-SEC academic All-American. 4 times. Every year I was in college, I made that team. And so it's just something that I never thought I would make. But yeah, so I graduated from Kentucky with a 3.6. And so when I underwent back surgery, I was in a really dark place. I didn't know what my life was going to be like. I didn't know where to turn to. I didn't know what to expect. It was a lot of uncertainties in my life. And I just started writing to kind of, get the pain out of me. Not knowing that I was going to turn my first kind of a journal into a book. And when I turned it into a book, Full Court Press, Conquering Adversity Under Pressure, and I started getting speaking requests, and I started, little kids started reading my book, and I started seeing how my book was changing lives just from what I went through. Then it was when I kind of rediscovered and redefined who I was and what success looked like and how I was going to continue to live my life. And, I tried some different things throughout life, some entrepreneurial stuff, different jobs, and I still couldn't find what that was that I was, wanting to do, or I was still searching for Twany Beckham, who I was, what I wanted to be viewed at, in public. And, I just, with my story and with my life, I've kind of landed in some job opportunities that have allowed me to give back, in the health and wellness realm, and I think it's all God, And then I just released my second book, and it's called Pressure, and you can find that book on Amazon. And this book means a lot to me, man. Like, I really, really love this book, man. It's a lot of positive energy around it because I didn't write this book like my first book, In a Dark Place. I found who I am. I redefined myself. I'm no longer an athlete. I love and appreciate who I've become. And I think that's allowed me to really to appreciate everything that's going on in my life and everything around me. And I put all that energy into this book. Any adversity that anybody's ever going through, whether it's, family, trying to figure out who you are, job security, saving money. I mean, whatever topic you name, I have it in this book. And I had an opportunity to interview a lot of people to speak on certain topics. So I think no matter who you are, when you pick up this book, at the end of it, you're going to smile and say, hey, I can overcome anything, any adversity that I would go through in my life because, I now have, some examples of how other people, got through certain pressures of their life. And so it's one of those books that I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just trying to be an example. And hopefully, if you read my book, you can learn from some examples that I put in there.
No, that's deep, bro. Yeah, your story, it's incredible because it's like you're a prime example of, I mean, you're pretty much ready for the NBA.
And I said it all the time, man. I'm not sure if you saw my Instagram post, my last post. I said, every book that I sign that you buy, is my NBA contract.
Oh, that's deep.
Yeah, you buy a book from me, I'm signing it like you paid me millions. This book right here is my NBA contract.
Man, that's deep.
This is my NBA contract. This book right here is worth millions. Like, more people are going to be healed from this book than more people that are going to be drafted to the NBA or the NFL or Major League Baseball. This book is going to heal so many people and give so many people have so many people inspired that they can overcome anything. So this is my NBA contract.
Wow, no, that's deep, bro. Because I mean, oh, no, man, I'm gonna have to repost that or something, bro. I like that.
You want me to say it again so you can get so you can record it?
No, man, I got you. Good, you good, bro. I'll get it. I'll get it at the end. I got you. But yeah, bro, like that's. I mean, just your story for real. I mean, it's so inspiring because I mean, you could have totally looked at your situation a completely other way, like
Yeah,
the other perspective. Like a lot of people kind of, they go into, they kind of fall guilty to that, and they're just not like self-disciplined enough to actually turn their life around to doing something else that they never really thought that they would have had to do. Because it's like you see these big time, NBA, NFL players, sports stars, and it's like everything goes great until they get injured. Everything goes great until something sporadically happens. Maybe it's something within their family. Maybe it's just something like a contract. I mean, shoot, you look at some of these sports figures today, and I mean, they don't even show up because of the contract, And I'm sure we both know
that's
who we're
something
talking
that I
about.
don't understand, man. This, coming from the projects, man. We play on the park and we play for free.
Yeah.
So guys, not showing up, man. For I mean, and I understand that there's a business to sports, and there's reasons why guys will show up, man. But if you're gonna pay me millions of dollars, man, I'm showing up.
Yeah.
I'm showing up. I'm coming to collect my money, and I'm coming to pay to play. So I know, but I understand there are reasons why guys, sit out or whatnot. But and it's out of their control sometimes. Agents kind of guide them. But if it's me, man, you got the money on the table with that type of money. I'm showing up and I'm gonna play hard every night. But it's easy for a guy like me who ain't in the NBA to say that, though, right?
Of course. I mean, hey, it don't matter if you play for the Cavs. You feel me?
Yeah, man. I just, from what I've gone through, man, I just wish I had the opportunity to put on an NBA jersey. But I do and I don't. I'm in a point in my life to where I'm glad basketball ended for me when it did because, I've been able to redefine myself at such an early age, or such an early stage in my life. I'm just turned 30, and I now have some direction. I have a purpose. If I would have still been chasing the basketball career, whether if it was in the NBA or overseas, then when was going to be that time that I searched for my purpose? When would that time have been? 40? And then at that time, companies are kind of considering you kind of, on the older end. So they want young talent. So it's something that a lot of people don't think about as well. Yes, you do play basketball for a long time, but if you're not one of those guys that you don't have to work again for the rest of your life, you didn't make that type of money, then what are you going to do? What companies are you going to apply for that they're going to, look at you as being valuable? And sometimes just your name doesn't work. And I found that out fresh out of college. I was expecting to get, one of the biggest jobs that, that they had to offer around here. I'm Twany Beckham. I played in Kentucky. I'm a national champion. But some companies didn't care. How can you bring value to the company? So and that was something that hit me right in the face. Is when I graduated, I was applying for it. Whatever job that I saw on job websites, man, I was applying for it. Just so I can have some purpose, so I can wake up every day and have a job. And that process was really hard. Jobs wasn't knocking on my doorstep like I thought it would. So there was pressure and adversity in itself. I had to fight through that. You know what I mean? And I think God just played a role in that and landed me in the right place at the right time and meeting the right connection at the right time. And that's something else, as an athlete, I don't think I took advantage of playing at UK. One of the biggest alumni groups in sports is taking advantage of those connections because we had everybody come through, man. Every celebrity, entertainment, you name it. Wow. And while you playing, you don't think to go over and say, hey, man, I don't have a business card yet, but can I take your information? Can I get your email? I may be looking to do, if I don't go to the NBA, I may be looking at trying to get into some type of business. Guys don't do that. When practice is over, games is over, man, you out the door. You back to the dorm or you leaving that game. When you got a billionaire alumni that's in the locker room, all you got to do is go over and shake hands, greet him and start sparking up a conversation. I mean, there was multiple times that I just walked right past a guy that might have been a billionaire because I was ready to get out of the gym.
Wow. Man, it's kind of like once the game's over, it's especially if you lose, people they just don't even they don't want no part of it, you
Nah,
know.
you know what I'm right.
But it's true because it's like I forget that saying too, but um, because I know it's a saying about like the people that are on the floor level are the people like at basketball games and things like that. Those are the people like that these stars should be talking with, but I guess they just don't think of it. I don't know. Maybe it's their emotions that play into it.
Sometimes ego. Sometimes it's ego as well. You think
Yeah,
to
it's
yourself,
true.
I'm Twany Beckham. I want to talk to him, but you just
Yeah,
don't know that that guy could be, an employer of yours after you don't play basketball.
yeah.
But that's something that you don't think about when you're in the midst of, being an athlete.
No, that's so true, man. So how tough was it? Like, when of course when everything happened, mentally, man, I'm sure it was a draining process, right?
Mentally, man, it was tough because, like I mentioned, you know, I had to think about what was next.
Yeah, that's scary,
While
bro.
while laying on my back and can't move, you know, I couldn't really do anything for myself, man. I had back surgery, and I had no more years of eligibility. So, what am I gonna do next? At the same time, I can't even walk. I can't even help myself up. So imagine what that's like. You know, I'm laying in the bed, man. I can't even help myself. And then in a couple of months, I'm gonna be graduating.
That's crazy, bro.
Man, it was tough, man. I'm telling you, man. I went through the ringer, man. It was really tough, and but I never once questioned God or why. I had a little interest in like asking why here and there, but I never once questioned my faith, and I always knew that He had a plan for me, and I trusted Him, and I stayed the course, and I fought, and I never gave up, and as many times as I was told no for an opportunity or at a company or just opportunity to go in business with somebody, I never quit, and like people saw that I was relentless.
Yeah, so 20, let me ask you this. I know you mentioned, of course, with writing, that was definitely huge for you whenever everything happened, of course, and you were laying on your back and things like that. And I know writing is definitely dear to you because it's like that's what let things out. That's what was in your head and you had to get it out. Was there anything else besides writing that maybe you did to help fuel yourself to keep going to that next level, to really just keep you going? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I really got into church.
Mm,
Because at that time in my life, man, I didn't know who to trust. Um, because with a lot of things come, you know, lost friendships, um, people that aren't really genuine. Whenever you lose everything, so I really didn't know who to trust, man. And my uncle kind of pulled me back into the church. Because there was something I kind of lost out on, playing ball in college. Um, I didn't attend church regularly, and so I started going to church and starting to kind of build myself back up again. Started to really, surround myself with people who believe in what I believed in, people who believed that brighter days were ahead, and people I felt like genuinely wanted to see me succeed and get out of the funk that I was in. And so, besides writing, man, that really played a huge part. One day I got up and told my testimony in front of the entire church, and for everybody to put their hands on me and pray for me meant a lot. And always thankful that I ended up getting baptized at that same exact church like a year or two later.
man, that's incredible. It's crazy, bro. Like just with, of course, spirituality and things, how that can make such a big impact, like
Yes,
in your life.
yes,
Like when you become present with that, oh my gosh, it's just incredible. People definitely underestimate it. I'll tell you that.
definitely, yeah, definitely
But no, I mean that's incredible though. So of course, like throughout the process, I'm sure you had some crazy things, run through your mind, of course, and obviously trying to find a job. I know that wasn't something that you were planning on doing. So how did you kind of, because assuming that you had to do interviews, right? It wasn't just like the name. It wasn't, oh, you won the national championship, right? You had to prove yourself, right? So how did you kind of prepare yourself for these interviews? Is it just like the normal process? Were you overthinking a little bit?
I definitely was overthinking it a little bit
Okay.
because you never taught how to conduct yourself in interviews in college.
That's true.
So it was something that I had to learn on the fly. And so another lesson that I learned out of that was you can't be afraid to fail.
Mm.
Uh, because some of my first interviews, I went in too stiff, too tight, trying to be too perfect, trying to say the right things. But I wasn't, all I needed to do was be Twany Beckham.
Yeah.
And so I learned that, after several of my interviews that I went to, and I was trying to say the right things, remember where I asked questions, and not be me. So it was a lesson that I did learn, and as I got more experienced, and got some of the bigger interviews with some of the roles I've had here recently, I got hired on being Twany Beckham. The first job that I got the opportunity of serving in was I was the state of Kentucky's wellness director. So I worked under the Governor Bevins, who was the current governor. I worked under his administration. And did I have the experience to be the wellness director for the state of Kentucky? No, I did not.
Mm.
Um, the woman who gave me the opportunity told me after the interview, she hired me because of how genuine I was, how eager I was to get started and to change the culture, in state government. And she said that she knew that from my interview, I had the skills that once I got in and under her umbrella, she was going to just kind of hone those skills, and she knew I would take off and running immediately. So that's also another lesson that I learned is, people have to be given opportunity. Now, you can't just walk into opportunity and not do anything and get it. But sometimes when you get the opportunity, you have to make the best of it. So people take for granted, the small opportunities that are given to us. You know what I mean? I don't think people really appreciate. It's an opportunity to go to college. It's an opportunity to play at the University of Kentucky. It's an opportunity to write a book. It's an opportunity to hop on a podcast with you. This is a huge opportunity that I think that people will take for granted that I'm not going to take for granted. Because for one, you're taking time out of your life, your family, away from your family, away from something else you could be doing, and you're interested in my story. So I'm not going to take that opportunity for granted.
Mm. No, that's straight up, bro, for real. Yeah, the opportunity thing definitely resonates a lot too, because it's like, you see a lot of, especially the millennial generation, they tend to, complain a lot. Like, man, I wish it was easy. I wish I had some handouts. I wish I could win the lottery, and just anybody in general. And it's like, you feel me? I mean, I think the lotto was at what, 1 billion or so, like a month or two ago.
And
That was,
I don't even entertain
yeah, me neither.
conversations around playing the lottery or buying lottery tickets. I don't even entertain that because to me that's cheating. Like I
Yeah,
don't want to my way to success. I don't want that. I don't even want to be in the running to win the lottery. Like I don't even want my name to be even in the pot.
oh,
I
yeah,
don't I don't want to be in that pot with everybody else. So I don't even entertain going to buy a lottery ticket. Never bought a lottery ticket. I did one day in my life, and I never will.
yeah. No, I feel that. Same with people that are kind of like, they're born into families that they're already like wealthy. They already made it, and it's kind of just been a free handout. And then you wonder why a lot of these, kids, growing up, and of course, whenever they get handed down the business or whatever it is that the parents own, you wonder why it doesn't thrive. Is what it used to be, because they
Right.
didn't have to go through it. They didn't have to go through the trials, the tribulations, and if they actually went through the obstacles and the hurdles along the way, the grit, then they would actually have what it takes to actually stay consistent and
Exactly.
continue that, keep grinding. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, I mean, I just feel like nowadays people are just looking, especially, with these phones here, people just feel as if they can just make it, and they put a lot of people under pressure, to say the least, aka like their parents, because they're just undecided. They don't know what it is that they want to do. So it's like for the younger people, they needed to decide like what it is that they want to do. Like if you're, and then I kind of tie it in here, like since you were like an athlete and everything with sports. So let's say somebody's in school or college right now, and they're doing well. Um, they're getting to the point where they got a bunch of scouts looking at them. Their big dream is to go to the NBA. Maybe they're in high school still. What do you recommend somebody, of course, throughout your process, 20, for them to do in the meantime, meaning AKA keep their options open? What are some different steps or advice that you would give to some of these, kids just looking to make it big? And of course, maybe they will make it big, right? But do you still think they should have like that backup option as well?
That's an interesting question that you asked me because I was just literally talking about this today with some of my friends in the group chat.
Hey, that's funny.
It's funny, and one of my friends said to me, um, "Wow, it's amazing, man. I don't know nobody like you."
Mm,
And two, he said, "It's amazing what you have done with Plan B." And my response to that was it my Plan B or was it God's Plan A?
mm, that's deep.
You catch that?
Yeah, I got that.
So
Shoot.
was it my Plan B or was it God's Plan A? And I've came to the realization that it was God's Plan A. Like it was never meant for me to go to the NBA. It was never meant to me for me to be rich right out of college. Everything that has happened in my life has happened for a reason. And I talk a little bit about this in my new book. Mentally, I wasn't ready to be a millionaire at
Mm,
20. Mentally, I wasn't ready. So I'm glad that God didn't bless me to be a millionaire at 21. Because I still have people around me that are not around me today, people that I was talking to that I don't talk to today. So with those people have been around me sucking money from me,
mm,
or people around me genuinely not really caring about me, but around me for what I had to offer them. So, I'm glad I didn't come into that at that time. So now that I'm 30, I figured a lot of things out about my life. And, it would be great to come into now.
yeah.
But speaking on kids with having a backup plan, I think that, you know, you have to go hard at whatever it is that that you strive to do or that you aspire to do. So whether that's playing basketball, business, football, you have to go hard. You got to have that mentality that you know there's no plan B. This is plan A.
Mm,
But the reality of what you're trying to attack, you have to know the realization of that dream coming to fruition. Now, if you look at the stats, less than 1% of people make it to the NBA. So, how many people are there in the world, right? And where do you fit into the equation of making that dream come true? So, if you look at it as in, oh, hey, I'm gonna go be a teacher. There's a million teachers. So the chance of me attacking Plan A can come to a realization way better than me going to the NBA where there's only 400 players.
mm,
So it just depends on what you're striving and aspiring to do. If you want to be an athlete or you want to play professionally, the opportunity is very slim. So having a backup plan needs to be a priority. But if you want to go be a doctor, the proper steps it takes. You have to fight. Nobody can tell you that you can't be a doctor. You really control your own destiny. You go into school. You get the proper education that you need. You're not getting drafted. If that makes sense.
man, that's deep, bro. You're not getting drafted. Wow. No, bro. I just think, yeah, bro. I mean, just with everything that, like, the adversity and everything, I feel like a lot of people, they kind of, because don't you feel as if, with a lot of athletes, they kind of like let the outside noise affect them too, you know?
Yes, I do. I do believe that, man. You let like I told you, you got people around you that
Yeah,
want to live their dreams through you, and
right.
they want you to make it so they can make it. but are you making it? And I speak on that in my book, man. Uh, if I had made it at 21, I wasn't making it for me.
Right.
Yeah, for everybody around me except for me. I speak on that impression, man.
Hey, no, I feel that. Now it's like you're living it, you're living, you're breathing, you're a testimony of it. And it's
Yes,
like, with you going around the world, be speaking and everything, like that's huge because you can actually share and people can relate with that story because it's emotional.
yes,
And it's like when people feel that way, especially the younger and the youth and everything, it's like there's hope.
yes.
It gives people hope, and it's just inspiring, bro. Because personally, I've never really known anybody personally that has gone through that. I mean, of course, Inky Johnson. I mean, we're both aware of that and his story and everything. But I just think it's incredible seeing yourself with what it is that you're doing, and actually fulfilling these things that you never really looked at probably 10 years ago. That this was going to be a thing that Twany Beckham was going to be an author. Probably like,
Full time.
what are you talking about? You're full
Full
time,
time.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's unheard of, bro. Like, even these, big time stars, 40. You look at Tom Brady, I sometimes wonder about him. I'm like, man, is he a machine? Is he Terminator or something? You feel me?
And also, you have to think too. Being an author takes, an extreme amount of discipline. Man, I have a full time job.
Yeah.
I get asked to speak. I have a family. Um, travel a lot. I still enjoy my life. So, can you imagine the discipline it takes to sit down and write a book? I mean, for my entire year of 29, my last year before I go into my 30s, I dedicated it to writing my book. Yeah. Like I didn't go out, man. I didn't party. I traveled a little, for business and a little bit of fun. But as far as, if there was a Saturday night, man, and my friends were going to the club or to a party, or I said, was in the house, man, right? And I see, like, it's paid off, man. I have a product that I am in love with, man. This is this is not just a product, man. Like, look at all the pressures of life that people go through,
Oh shoot, man, you got them. Oh,
man. Yeah,
that's deep, bro.
it's deep, man. It's not just like I said. This is not just a product, man. It's just a way of life, man. This is real life, not just for athletes, for all people. And I think a lot of people are gonna be healed, man. But it takes an extreme amount of discipline, man. Extreme amount of discipline.
So let me ask you this: how does one stay disciplined when there's all the temptation out there? You know?
I've learned from others, and listening to like you mentioned, Inky Johnson,
Yeah,
to Eric Thomas, reading books, reading Kobe Bryant's book. You know, I've listened. That's the thing. I think a lot of people don't do is we don't listen to others who have walked or are living the life that we want to live. Like I told you before when I think I first met you, and I feel like I have the same story as Inky.
right. Yep.
That story, I could be doing the same thing. So what is he doing with his life that I'm not doing? So let me listen to every podcast or speaking he's ever done, and that's what I did. Every speaking he's let me hop on uh, some webinars that he's hosted. Let me get on and just hear him. Hear what he's talking about. Instead of watching this basketball game online, let me cut the volume down, put my earphones in, and listen to an Inky Johnson presentation and listen to him talk about discipline and fight for what you want to fight for and going heavy. And do you want to succeed as much as you want to breathe? Eric Thomas.
Mm.
You just learning from people that's being successful at what you want to do, and just taking bits and pieces from everybody that you listen to.
Man, that's so true because it's crazy. I feel like a lot of people, they tend to overcomplicate it because, of course, you got to have your lane. You got to. There's only one Twany Beckham. There's only one Nate Peterman, and it's like you know yourself better than anybody else does.
Right.
But the road to success, it's very similar, and it's like with what you were saying. You look at Inky, you look at what he's doing, and it's like you're not copying that, but you're going your own path exactly kind of the way he did it in a way, and it's like you're kind of repeating the steps and the process, like because people ask like, what's the secret formula? I mean, there's no secret formula. You just gotta literally reinvent it, but in your version, right?
Your version. Yep. In your version. Yep.
And it's crazy because I just feel like people don't look at that perspective. And I tell people all the time, people say, "Man, I'm investing like in all these courses," but it's like, okay, why don't you make your own doggone course? Why don't you make your own book? I mean, you're telling me you're investing like thousands of dollars into these courses, but why don't you just like kind of revamp all of the wisdom that you have in there and put it into like a drive where people can actually plug into? Same with books. I mean, straight up, you
Man,
wrote a,
writing a book
you
is
know,
is literally like a dream, man.
yeah,
Because you have to, like an athlete, man, you have to dedicate, you have to work at it. Sometimes you ain't right for a week and then throw it all away. The week after, once you go back and read what you wrote for that week, so it's just like an athlete, man. You have to work, you have to perfect your craft. And with writing my first book, I felt like my first book was pretty good. This book, like I say, man, it's just my baby. It's just it's
hey,
precious.
no, I feel that, bro. Man, so I know you were talking about balance a little bit ago. How do you because man, you're 30 years old, bro? Like I can't believe that. For some reason I thought you were 25, you feel me?
30, man.
But man, so with balance, like how do you balance it all, man? I mean, with everything you have going on, traveling as well and whatnot. I mean, I can
That's
only
a
imagine,
question. That's a question that I get a lot as well. Is how do I balance everything? How do you balance, full time job, work, in the gym, cooking, eating healthy, writing books. I'm about to start my third book in January. Um,
wow. Jeez.
let's say, how do you balance it all, man? It's my why. I say my why, man. I know what my why is. I know who I am. I know what it takes to be successful. And honestly, man, it helps, keep my mind in places that I don't want my mind to go. And whether that's partying or getting into some of the bad things that I don't want to get into, which I don't think I will. But I don't even want my mind going down that road. So I try to keep my mind focused on something positive, something towards helping people. I think it helps me, man. Just stay disciplined and being able to balance everything. And I also don't believe I have a hard time, and this is something that I struggle with a lot. Is out of everything that I have going on, man, I would never tell you that I'm busy.
Mm,
I kind of struggle with, me and you trying to find dates to make this podcast work, and it kind of, upset me because I wasn't living by what I preach. Hey man, let's do this, interview next week when I know we both have 30 minutes to sit down and talk, right? Probably right then and there. So what are
right.
we putting off for next week for? You know what I mean? So I'm all about working, man. I'm all about taking full advantage of opportunities. I never think I'm too busy. But one thing that I do, I have implemented on Nate is there's a time that I go to bed every night, and I'm not gonna stay up working past that time because it then becomes not beneficial for me or my craft. If I'm
Mm,
tired and I'm trying to complete something when I'm tired, then I'm not giving it my full effort. And also, if I stay up all night, then that goes into me tackling the next day, you know, with a full slate of 220 Beckham. So I make sure I don't take at my job. I don't take work home.
mm.
When I get home and I work on my business, I go to bed. I shut the book or I shut my computer and I go to bed at a decent time. And I wake up in the morning, it'll be there. Work will be there.
Yeah, no, I feel that. Dang, so with work and everything, because man, I mean that balance, bro. I mean, just it's
It's tough,
crazy.
man. Balance is tough.
Yeah,
Balance, but it's only as tough as you want as you let it be.
that's true.
If you're allowing yourself to be stressed out, if you're allowing yourself to come home and do work that you could have closed the laptop at 5 o'clock at the job, then
Yeah.
you allowing yourself to stress out. Like I'm not going to allow myself to allow a job to stress me out. That's
Mm,
just not what I'm gonna do.
yeah.
You know, and if my boss has a problem with that, then hey, he or she has a problem with that. But you got to make sure that Nate the Great or Twany Beckham, you got to make sure we're whole. You got to make sure that we are fulfilled in our lives, mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever, so that we can give our entire self to that job whenever we are there. But it's
Yeah.
not come home.
Yeah, that's so true, bro. I feel like, because man, that's a whole nother conversation about relationships for real. I feel like it's definitely one of the main issues. I'll tell you that. Like people, they don't know what to leave and what to keep with them, and a lot of people they definitely like to bring everything home with them, especially entrepreneurs, because it's like even myself, straight up, bro. Like along the journey, one of my hardest things is the balance. Like when do I turn the phone off? When do I chill out? When do I, have that family time? And I'm only 22. I mean, I ain't even got kids, so it's
Yeah,
like I'm also looking at it from the perspective. Okay, I'm working a lot now, so whenever I do have a family, it's like that's on autopilot. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yes.
So no, that's. I know you were saying about sleep a little bit as well. So do you go to bed at a set time every single night, and are you always consistent with that?
So I was just watching a podcast with LeBron. I think one of LeBron's first podcasts he's ever done.
Oh
First,
man.
and just listened to it a couple days ago, and I shared it with some of my friends. So I figured a new thing out on the iPhone, so you can set your iPhone to sleep mode or something like that, or do not disturb it at a certain time every single night. And I was listening to LeBron's trainer talk about how LeBron, gets away from his phone 45 to an hour before he wants to go to sleep. And what that does psychologically to your brain is remarkable. But if you get in bed and you like to say you're on that cell phone, Instagram, social media, whatever, it's hard for your brain to shut off. So I get up every day at 4:30. I wake up every morning at 4:30,
4:30. Okay.
and I go to the gym and I go to work out. And so I need my sleep, right?
Yeah.
So I try to, I'm eating a lot, so I try to be. And sometimes I'm not always consistently, depending on what time I get home or whatnot. But I try to be in bed by 10 to 10:30. In
At
the
10:30. Okay.
in the bed, yeah.
Wow.
And like I said, there are rare times when I'm up at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. Like the last month of finishing my book kept me up till we hours of the night every single night, because the wrapping up of the book is the hardest part of the editing, uh, cover stuff, and submitting and all that was like it's like the hard part of the book. The writing is the easy part. So you do have times where you get off the schedule a little bit, but for the most part, I stay pretty disciplined.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, the sleep. It's like a lot of people they feel like, okay, I got to get X amount of hours, but it's more so about the quality of the
People
sleep
say that
too.
people say that sleep when you die stuff, man.
Yeah,
Don't listen to that, man, because
that's
like
true.
you stand up all night, man. But one thing that LeBron's trainer did say, and LeBron said, is your body recovers best while you're sleeping,
Yeah.
spiritually, physically, mentally. Your body recovers while you're sleeping. So if you're only sleeping a couple hours per night, you're working on a essentially a car with no oil.
Mm,
It's like I talk about this in pressure. It's like we as people have to keep our oils changed. What does a car do when the oil's changed?
yeah, I mean, they it can burn the engine for real.
Gonna burn the engine.
Yeah.
So same thing with our bodies, man. You have to always flush the system. Re-energize. Your body, and a lot of that comes with sleeping.
Mm, yeah, no, that's so true. Sean Stevenson, I had him on the podcast. He's really big into the sleeping and he really gives like a lot of like it's like scientifical facts for real. And I'm just like, whoa, man, this is some insane knowledge. Because like you said, I mean, during the day, whenever you're awake, your body does certain and different features compared to when you're asleep. And
Mm.
it's crazy because I mean, I've had my times, of course, being an entrepreneur where I stayed up for a couple of days straight, and it's just insane what it does to you, like mood wise. So much more cortisol that gets released into your brain, which causes you to kind of get like irritated a lot more. Same with like eating too, because it's like when you eat, you have more dopamine that comes out. It's like that pleasure. So I don't know. It's kind of like I know some trainers are big on that. Like you can't eat until you finish this workout. You feel me? It's like when they finish, it's like, oh man, that's fuel for me to go. Same with like dogs, they put them on a treadmill or something. They're chasing some meters because it's like that's motivation, that's fuel, and it drives people because it's huge at the end of the day to get like that pleasure from eating, and then just same with sleeping as well, because a lot of people, they take it for granted. And whenever I hear people, I'm like, hey, what time do you go to sleep? What time do you wake up? No, man, I don't even know. For real, I just go whenever. I'm like, man, you gotta get a schedule, and then you wonder why you're all groggy, you
Yeah,
know?
you schedule, man, yeah.
Like, it's just crazy, bro. Just simple stuff like that. Like, that's what they don't teach that in school. Just think if they did teach that in school, bro.
Yeah. I
That'd
think
be insane.
sleeping needs to be its own course.
Yeah, for real, bro.
Like, I think essentially one of the most important.
Yeah,
Actually,
bro.
yeah.
No, I feel that. So yeah, Twany, I don't want to hold you up too much longer. I do have one more question to ask you. It's a little bit deep, of course. What is what's not one thing, but what is it that Twany Beckham wants to be remembered for?
I want to be remembered for somebody who, came from nothing and made something out of life and paid it forward.
Mm,
Um, you know, I want to see more people from impoverished communities, people from projects, low class people, poor people, change their lives, and that's what I love about it. The saying, change their culture. I want to see more people change their culture. I want to see more people taking trips to Italy like I just did. I want to see more people, writing books. I want to see more people graduate from college. I want to see more people earning Division I scholarships to play at high major schools or even low major schools. I want to see more people getting married. I want to see more people faithful to their spouse. Um, I want to be that remembered as that person that helped change the culture in whatever magnitude I can be remembered in, as far as helping. Then it doesn't really matter. Um, I'm gonna continue to do my part because I think helping people helps with my purpose,
mm,
and you know that's who I want to be remembered for. And like I say, it's not attached to no amount of money that I would make, not attached to how many books I would write, not attached to how many friends I have, how many celebrity friends that I have. It's not about that, man. It's about helping people become whole and making something of themselves, and allowing people to change their culture, seeing people change their culture, or help people change their culture is all I'm about. And you know, people who come in contact with me, man, I want them to leave me and say, "Hey, man, I want to change my life for the better." After leaving me and Twany Beckham, I want to be somebody. I want to be better than him. I want to be like him. I want a son, or I want to be a father, or I just want to be somebody that puts the good energy back into society.
mm. Man, that's deep, bro. That's a strong remembrance for real. And there's no doubt in my mind that you're gonna live up to it, bro, for real. Especially with the message and everything that you've been through, man, dog. So, Twany, where can the audience, where can the listeners, the viewers find you at? You on social media?
Yeah, I'm on social media. I'm on Instagram, Twany Beckham. I'm on Facebook, Twany Beckham, and I'm on Twitter, Twany Beckham _11. You can find my first book, Woke Up Press Conquering Adversity, on TwanyBeckham.com. You can book me to speak, book me for an event on TwanyBeckham.com. My newest book, Pressure, is out on Amazon right now. It's new. I released it on my 30th birthday, November 14th. This was a goal I set a year ago, well, a little bit further than a year ago.
Got that Scorpio season, bro.
Man, new books on Amazon. So you go to Amazon, type in Pressure, or you can type in TwanyBeckham.com. The book is gonna pop right up. And man, every person that buys a book, man, I'm signing it like it's my NBA contract because it's worth millions. Your support is worth millions. So I'm gonna sign each and every one like it's my NBA contract.
My guy. Wow. I will be attaching the links below for everybody to check out U20 on social media, as well as to cop your latest book. Pressure, absolutely incredible, brother. I'll be copping myself one as well, and I can't wait to look at that fresh signature that comes with it.
Did you
Um,
want to did you want to get that for the IG story?
oh, for sure, bro. Now I'll do it right now. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I can't forget the tag and everything. You feel me?
Hey man,
Yeah, I'll just do a quick photo here.
I was going. Can you record it?
It's just through the headphones. I can't hear. Yeah.
I was gonna record it, man. I was gonna go deep into it.
No, I feel you, bro. Oh, no, we can do it off the air if you want. I mean,
Yeah, we can do it off there. Yeah.
okay, yeah, we can do that. I got you, bro. Yeah.
Thanks for having me on the podcast, man. Like I said, we can do it off the air, but for all the listeners, man, change your culture. Do something tomorrow that's going to impact our society. Write that book, man. Help somebody change their culture. Go take a person and take them out of their environment that they're comfortable in. Show them something different, man. Hop on a podcast with Nate. Start your own podcast, man. Start your business. Go to your work tomorrow and tell every person good morning. Bring breakfast. Do something different to help change somebody's culture, man. And the more people do that, the more the better society we're gonna have. Twany Beckham, baby.
Hey, straight up, brother. I appreciate you being on the show, ladies and gentlemen. Go follow this man. He's the truth. Appreciate you, bro.
Oh, I got one last request, Nate.
For sure, yeah.
One last request, man, is me and Inky's stories are so similar, man. I need to meet him, man. We need to make that
Let's
happen.
do it, bro. Yeah, let's do it.
Both played in the SEC, both careers ending from surgeries. So let's make that happen, Nate.
Hey, bro. Trust me. I think we have all the pieces together. Just gotta align, and I don't think that'll be an issue, my brother. Hey, I appreciate you, bro.
All right.